Thank you. Thank you for bringing my family and I here today. It's been a great experience to learn about this congregation from each of you, from the committee members, and from the staff. And I can tell that this is a special place, as I have been told over and over. I thought for a few minutes this morning, instead of giving you an exciting timeline about my life, it would be better that I tell you why I stand before you today as one who believes that the church can be a positive force for change in this world. When I think back to the churches of my past, I am filled with heartache. I was born into a congregation that believed it was more important to hold power and influence than care for people. It was a place that pastor after pastor came and left because they fought to hold the power and use it to control and manipulate. It was a place of hoarding. It gained and gained control until it lost all of its members. And looking back, this wasn't church for me. Another church in my past was a congregation with life and energy. My family joined the congregation when I was in middle school, looking for a place to socialize with family and youth our ages. As much fun as I had at that church, it was just fun. I saw the frustration from ministers as they tried to bring truth and meaning to the youth group. But there was a great divide between understanding and living out faith. It was the place I learned that people showed up to church only to be noticed. It was the place that left me questioning the difference between coming to church and being the church. And it was clear to me, looking back, that this wasn't a church to me. When I entered high school, my father's job took us far away to a small and empty town. The church we joined was the main place for my spiritual growth. It was a place I found belonging and acceptance. It was the place I fully committed myself to Christ and was baptized. It was a church that I tasted ministry and was encouraged by friends. It was a place where I received my call into vocational ministry. But after college, it was the place that questioned my beliefs. It was the place that thought they were right and I was wrong. I felt rejected and betrayed. As I look back, those people didn't want to be church with me. Through all the hurt that I experienced from the churches of my past and through the questioning of faith that they had made me, I held on to hope. Hope that somewhere there were people like me. Hope that somewhere I would find a place to heal. Hope in an idea that God was calling me to something special, so special that I couldn't say no. As I left those churches behind, I was lucky enough to find a congregation in Waco, Texas, that I owe a great deal of gratitude. Gratitude for letting me be who God wanted me to be. It was a place where I really started to reflect on those places of my past and what it meant to be church, to share and to risk our lives together. This is what I've learned. That church is a sacred place. We worship a living God together and uncover our identity as children of God. We lean into the mysteries of faith and we wander together in the wildernesses of life. We are a community in the most authentic way possible, in that we ask each other to truly be themselves. We share communion together. And church is a place of equality. When our society and culture or government questions what it means to be equal, the church should already be living out that idea. Church is a place where we witness the kingdom of God. It is the place where we become whole persons. It is a place where love wins. The difficulty with the church today is not that we don't know who we are. The difficulty that I have seen is that we are unsure how to communicate that identity to our children and youth. When I look back at the churches of my past, I am amazed at the junk that trickled down to the children and youth around me. You see, this was not just the most formative years of my knowledge or social skills or mental awareness. It was the most formative time for my faith, and I was sadly let down. So when I was called to vocational ministry as a freshman in college, I knew that it was for children and youth. I remember being treated as an incompetent child, unable to grasp the complexities of faith. But I also remember that I persevered in spite of those. I never want a young person's faith stomped out because of the church again. The church has an obligation and a calling to speak truth to the youth and children around them, to give them the tools for sorting through the mess surrounding their lives so they can find God and live meaningful lives. The church needs to help them become adults who know how to bring healing to a hurting world. The church needs to show them how to work for justice and peace for the kingdom of God. And we need to let each person coming in our doors know they are children of God, loved and forgiven. From my earlier conversations with people in this congregation, I know these are the values that you all have and want to see lived out in the hallways and rooms of this building. I know you are a congregation with a welcoming and accepting spirit. You are a people of deep questions and great love. You are a church contemplating what it means to be a force for good in your community. I know this is a place where God is at work, and I hope to join with you and be church together.